California, according to Consumer Affairs, ranked as the worst state to move to and to raise a family in 2025, citing poor education, safety, affordability, and quality of life. California has high child poverty rates, a shortage of libraries, and poor air quality. So basically, moving to Cali, the religious liberty is pretty much gone. It's a damn near a satanic state. If you look at the laws, they trying to legalize pedophilia and all type of shit. We got the highest tax rate in the nation. Retiring here is the worst state in the country to retire in. And this is all thanks to that piece of shit, Gavin Newsom, a.k.a. Gruesome Newsom, and these fucking liberals. They turned California, which was once the golden child of the world, the greatest state in the world, in the country, into a shithole, into a hellhole. You go down Hollywood, everything's boarded up. You go to Beverly Hills, blocks on blocks on blocks of buildings closed. Nothing's going on. You go down 2nd Street in Long Beach, it's a zombie land, nobody outside. Go down Pine, all the clubs and shit is closed. Like, LA has turned into
no zombie
you
land.
crazy. They gotta drive down 2nd Street Saturday, nobody outside. Basically, what I'm saying is LA's not the place to be anymore due to the politics. Me personally, I would like to see LA flip red and go more the right route because they seem to got it right as far as the quality of life. So what do y'all think about that news there, and what can we do as Californians to fix this shit? Because Cali is the greatest. I don't give a fuck. We can't let them politicians do this shit, bro.
Cali is great as long as you got money, and I think life is anywhere you make. It's what you make it. If you got bread, if you can live, at least I don't want to just say free, but financially free in certain ways, you'll be great in Cali. You won't even think about half the problems that people talk about, and for them to talk about libraries. Ain't like niggas is going to go get books. So you got plenty Barnes and Nobles to go buy books for cheap as hell. You got plenty bookstores, and there's libraries everywhere. So in every city, it's a library. Niggas is not going to get library cards. These kids ain't doing it either. So that's some other cop out. You know what I'm saying? But Cali is good for the most part. I don't really see too much. What they can do, what I don't like, is how they control the damn beaches. Even though every beach ain't great, but when you go to all these other places, how they had the beaches set up with the beds out and all the stuff, you got people all over the beaches. You can't really do nothing in our beaches out here. That shit is weak. They need to change that.
I think Cali's the freest control state we got, right? Like, we one of the fakest states. We say we super diverse. You get here, prisons is racist as hell, police force is racist as hell. They say it's glitz and glamour. You come here, it's niggas shitting on the street, high off fentanyl. They say it's, you know what I mean, a place to become famous. Most people become dropout drug addicts that never, you know what I mean, working at Starbucks. Like, we're one of the fakest states there is. They say, you know, you have the freedom of doing whatever you want or an expression, but if you decide to not, you know, have your kid partake in certain things, or you don't want them to be taught certain things about sexuality in school, you're looked at as a villain. So I think Cali just is super fake and just super controlled, even though we give off the illusion that we're not. And that's where we're coming to the boiling point that we are. Obviously with Gavin Newsom as well, and I think the homelessness crisis and that situation really in general and our tax dollars and where they've went to has really affected California, and I think it's going to affect us for the long run. What we can do about it, me personally, I don't know. At this point in time, like, it's so bad that we're going to need to get him out of there, and then at that point, it's going to take a whole rebuild for us to get back to where we want to be.
California is bad not because of Gavin Newsom. California is bad because you have rich people who can gain street cred in poor areas by pretending to care about things they don't care about, right? So, like, you got this super rich person. They're like, man, I'm an environmentalist. I'm in front of the grocery store trying to get you to sign up to donate to Greenpeace. Look at me. I'm driving a Tesla, all this type of shit. And it's like, yeah, you can afford to be an environmentalist freak. But we don't know that your dad got tons of stock in this oil company and he's running this little toxic waste dumping business that we don't know about. People can fake it. It's the land of faking it till you make it, right? So you got rich people who faking it like they poor. You got people coming out of Silver Lake and Calabasas like, look, I want to overpay for an apartment in Long Beach because it's close to this bar, this dive bar I really like to go to. You're like, how are you affording to live right here, drink every night with me, and get up in the morning and spend $40 every morning at the local coffee shop? They're not telling you I'm a trust fund kid and my parents live up in fucking Hidden Hills or something like that, or Anaheim Hills or Chino. They're not telling you that. So you got a lot of people pretending to be poor who have money, right? And they're driving the mindset. They're influencing how the actual poor people want to behave. The way you fix this situation, first, you have to get rid of all these taxes. California has all types of taxes that other states don't have, one of which is our gas tax. We got like almost $1 worth of taxes attached to our gas, so we're always at least $1 higher than the national average. Now they just passed something in the middle of the night where they're going to put a 65-cent additional tax on the gas, to where now the oil companies are moving out. They already make you know about this. They already make a special blend of gas for cars in California. The gas that you buy in the state of California is different from the gas you buy in every other state in America because of our ridiculous environmental laws, right? Yep. You got to incentivize businesses to come. Give them tax breaks. We look at businesses like, basically our politicians shake down corporations. If you want to be here, you want to stay here and get these California dollars, you're going to give us this much money, X amount of dollars. Plus, it's a socialist state where the poor can't do certain things, but the rich can. Look at Gavin Newsom and his restaurant, the French Laundry. He was shutting down all the other restaurants, but his restaurant was open for business during that pandemic, and people were allowed to eat inside, no mask. They were allowed to eat outside. They had people waiting in line to get in, crowds of people, and everybody else was shut down. We are living under a type of dictatorship, and it's totally corrupt. And it shows you what happens when you have one party running the entire country. It always devolves into exploitation.
So what's your okay?
Incentivize business and lower taxes.
I disagree with it not being Gavin Newsom. I mean, he's the damn governor, right? So he's running the show. And as far as like bro said, as long as you're rich, you cool. That's not necessarily true either, because most millionaires are actually fleeing. Even Elon Musk left because of the taxes. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. You make a 1.5 million, you only get 700,000 out of the 1.5, or I think it's 3 million or something like that. So the tax rate is like 55%. They take more money than you make on your own damn check for the work you did. It's ridiculous. And if you look at Newsom's history, his top 10 failures, let's go down the list. Highest cost of living in the nation. Reports estimate that if you live in California, the state imposes a $26,478 additional cost on middle-class families compared to the national average. So if you live here in the middle class, you need an extra whopping $26,000 over the national average. Not only that, that gas tax that he said is $1 is estimated to go up to $2 per gallon by 2026. Soaring crime. We got some of the worst crime rates in the history. It went up in 2022 by a staggering 13%. Remember earlier in the show, I said when the PPP hit around 2020, crime went down. When it went away around 2022, it went up 13%, right in line.
So you proving my point. Proving my point. If you got money, then it's lovely to live out here.
No, it's cool because for people who've never had money, but if you have a business that's to make money, the taxes is not worth starting a business here, which is why businesses are closing.
You think them people that's living in Palisades and all that shit, them motherfuckers don't be kidding. Them niggas living good.
Hold on, we can get into that too. We have the worst homelessness crisis in the nation, despite spending over $24 billion on homeless prevention. Where the fuck is that money going? Homelessness just keeps going up. I think it went up by 31.6%. But watch it magically disappear when the Olympics get here. Mark my words, 2028, it won't be a homeless on the street. Magically, the money gonna kick in. We have the weakest election integrity in the nation. We actually help human traffickers while creating a border crisis, failing schools, and attack on parents. So they're trying to take all the rights away from the parents and give it to the schools and the doctors over your children. Negligence created an insurance crisis, a pattern of pay-to-play politics. So if you ain't putting money in the politicians' hands, they not doing nothing for you. You could talk vote local and all that. Guess what? The millionaires and billionaires who want the advantage on them locally, White envelope, fuck what they voting, so you could believe that all you want. Hold on, one more, two more. A failed Green New Deal policy. So all this made up green, we need to save, blase, blah, we need to go electric. Man, that's bullshit. If every car in California went electric right now, we don't have the capacity of the power grid to even power them up or charge them. Not to mention, almost everything you use in this fucking world, half the products on this set still need the petroleum. They still need the oil. And even the fucking lithium batteries is worse for the damn environment. The materials they need for the batteries in your Tesla is worse than the damn oil refineries and the oil business. So that's bullshit. And the gas. Destroying direct democracy by gutting citizen initiative rights. So Gavin Newsom destroyed this country. However you want to look at
state?
it. I mean, excuse me, this state. I'm worked up right now because California like a country.
He
I'm
hasn't
a Cali
destroyed the
boy.
country yet. They're definitely running his ass.
He's trying to run for president, so he's trying to destroy the country. We ain't there yet. But Californians, y'all need to wake up. This vote blue, no matter what ideology, has to go.
But
we don't have stand your ground laws. Like it's damn near impossible unless you live in Orange County to get a damn right to carry. We have the worst laws. We protect pedophiles. You can be a pedophile legally in California.
Won't even charge you.
They won't even, you get a slap on the wrist, bro. You can come in across the border, no paperwork. Like, it's just a free-for-all for everybody except the tax-paying citizens who built this fucking state.
But how do you say it's the politicians when you got people who will vote blue no matter who? Gavin Newsom is going to run for president in 2028. We know that. There's going to be a significant part of the American population that's going to be like, I'm voting for him just because he's the Democrat nominee. It's the same thing in California. These people, it's almost like they don't care how much pain they're in because they're so scared of what might happen if the other side wins. And I remember I was watching Roland Martin, and he said this out his own mouth. He said, you know, when it comes to black people and Democrat voters, you can't talk to them or appeal to them based on the facts and the issues. You have to scare them. You have to make them afraid of what the other guy might do if he's elected. Gavin Newsom shut down all of our nuclear power plants in California, talking about this green energy crap. And what happened? It skyrocketed the cost of energy. I haven't got an electric bill that was under $100 since like 10 or 12 years ago.
Bro.
The electric bill used to be $40,
$35.
Now the shit's $125 every month. No matter how much you could turn off light switches, you could be watching the kids, making sure that you turn off their TVs at night. Your bill's gonna be minimum $120 every month. So did he really get rid of the nuclear power plants to save the environment, or did he get rid of the power plants so that they could raise the cost of energy and him and his buddies could get kickbacks because they're the ones who are owning up all the solar panel farms and wind farms and all that shit. But that guy is responsible, but it's the people who elected him.
This is why this show is the single most important show in the culture right now, because we're from the culture for the culture. You may not always agree with every sentiment and every point we make, but we're probably the only platform like this who addresses these issues. We don't even discuss this in our community.
You know, Fig Community ain't talking about it.
Look, shout out to Fig.
Shout out to them. They ain't talking about
shout out
nothing
to
important.
AD. Listen, growing up, how many times did your parents ever talk to you about politics? Never. We never learned about politics from our parents in our communities. So we have the blind leading the blind, where now we're the adults and we have no schooling on politics whatsoever unless you go research yourself and deep dive yourself. So you got people voting on shit. They don't even know what they're voting on. Like, we just had people vote. They had a bill for rent control. Do you know these dumb, ignorant idiots who are renting voted against it because they have hopes of one day being an owner, which they never will, because the corporations are buying all the houses. We're in the worst housing crisis in human history. BlackRock and a couple other companies own everything, right? They bought like 70% of the housing already. So you're never going to own a house unless you rent it from them. They voted against it thinking that when I finally own a home one day, even though inflation is quadrupling what they're getting paid, so the value of their dollar is going down, they're making less money, right? It's not even worth it, and it's never going to happen. They voted against it just so they can screw over their neighbor one day because they don't want the government controlling what they can do when they're already controlling. Dumbass, there's no rent control. So all the money you think you're saving to one day own a home, it's never going to happen because now it takes more to maintain the lifestyle you already had than what you make. You didn't get a raise, but the cost of living went up 3 times within the last, fucking 3 years?
What about Prop 36?
Make it make sense.
What about
Talk to 'em.
Prop 36 to get rid of all the crime? Niggas running up in the store, stealing everything, having tougher penalties. Gavin Newsom came out against Prop 36, then tried to sign in a bunch of bullshit fake laws talking about this would be better than Prop 36. That tells you these guys want this state to be in chaos.
Exactly.
Why would you not want to hold people accountable for stealing, running up, doing smash and grabs and stuff? The governor himself came out against that. And then Kamala Harris said she wasn't going to tell you before the election what she voted on it because she didn't want to create a story or a narrative around it. No, she voted against it, which tells you what? She likes crime. These people understand one thing. The only country or state they are qualified to rule over is one that is in utter chaos because they're inept.
A lot of times too, I think that they might do things like you just said. People don't really follow up on shit. So when I was in the pen, Gavin Newsom was doing a lot of good shit for the prisoners. And if I'm not necessarily staying up on him, I might have a first impression as that, well, he looked out for us when we was in prison 5-10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And like, oh, he was straight for us. He did this or he did that. So by him passing certain bills or going against certain things where crime, you might not be punishable for so long, people might stick with that and the next time they hear from Gavin Newsom is, oh, he's running. Oh, this was the dude that helped us get off when we were shoplifting or something like that. And you stick with that mindset versus what he's actually doing now. So I think they're thinking way smarter and way further ahead of putting stamps on people.
And think about that.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom helped me be a better criminal, so I'm going to vote for him.
Imprinting.
Like, that's literally...
Not
I know when you're in the cell, it don't matter.
Be a better criminal, but not stretching me the fuck out as if I could have made an early mistake when I was younger versus right now that y'all want me to do way more fucking time for some petty crimes that we complain about, niggas get all the time.
'Cause look.
And then when somebody else does that for us, we still complain about it.
I've been out of prison for 18 years.
That's very true.
Never caught a case, never caught another case, new beef, nothing, had minor run-ins that was not even due to me. You feel me? But I never caught another case. I've been legal, I've been prospering, career, 401k, pension, all the shit, family, everything. Got a TWIC card, government clearance. I filed my paperwork to get my felony pardon and delete it from my record. Well, my girl did. Shout out to Miss Rose, you feel me? She was on top of her shit. That's baby right there. But, you feel me? I have not heard a response in 2 years. This should be an open and shut case. I have a TWIC card, which means you have to get government clearance so they can make sure you're not a terrorist so you can access the ports. If I got clear for that, why can't I have my rights to protect myself and my family back? Because now I can never legally own a firearm until I get my damn rights back. So, mind you, it got approved. They sent it to Gruesome Newsom. No answer. 2 years. No phone number to call. No email to hit. Hey, man, what's going on with this paperwork? You just got to hope and pray. And this is a part of the system that unless you're a criminal or ever been in jail or prison, you don't see this part. You just think dudes is just going back because they like prison. Some niggas do, but some niggas actually are trying to make a change, and your government won't allow them to change. Thank God I just landed where I landed with the felony, and I still was able to prosper over. But what are the odds of that? Because the company that hired me don't even hire felons anymore. The jobs that used to be shoo-ins for felons, oil refinery. First thing they tell you, you got the pen. Go get your RSO card. Go to the oil refinery. They not hiring felons no more. The trains, the railroad tracks, that used to be a shoe-in. They not even really hiring felons no more. So the outlets that felons did have to try and change their life around, the politicians are taking that. Why? Because they have all these private prisons on the stock market. That's a business, and if we don't keep them full, the people who own that prison sue the state for not filling their prison with inmates. It's one big game, bro. Y'all got to think of this shit deeper than the surface level, what the news tell you. They want niggas doing crime. Why the fuck would you have the free crime bill where you can basically just go do with anything? Oh shit, niggas is stealing out of control. Now we got to be tougher than we were before.
Hey.
But you dumb niggas didn't notice the chess move. We talked about it.
Hey, and now you do a crime. Somebody does a crime to you call the cops, they don't show up for 8 hours. Yeah. They don't show up for 10 hours. What do you think that message is sending to somebody who might be struggling to get work? They fresh out the pen. Shit's hard right now. Nigga come, hey, bro, I hit a lick, nigga. Cops never even came, bro. Like, that's kind of like, it's almost like they baiting people to do shit. Like, we want them to, like, do something. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to, all of a sudden, like we said just earlier, we're going to pull the rope tight again, and them motherfuckers are going to be right back, in prison years and decades. This guy is, I call him a cancer. It's like he knows he's fucking this state over. He was able to clean the state up when Xi Jinping, his communist master, came. He got San Francisco all cleaned up and stuff. God. They could fix it if they want to. Fact. They're letting it be like this on purpose. And I don't know if they're just trying to drive all the poor people out the state or something, or they're just like I imagine that California wants to be like this. Super rich people, the poor Hispanics who work for them, living in apartments, 20, 30 motherfuckers to a 2-bedroom, kind of like it is if you go to like Dubai and shit, the worker camps are packed out, and then it's all these rich people and people living in the desert. It's like they just want to have a greater disparity between the haves and the have-nots, and they want to eliminate the middle class from California.
Let's be real, though. All these people that we speak of, they're not making all the final decisions. Like, they're in there with other people and things has already been implemented and in motion. Like you just said, it's not no coincidence that none of this has been going on and you still can't get cleared for something. Like, this is made this way. It's designed this way. We know this shit. So it's like we could do all this if there's nothing you really can do about it, but keep either putting your emotions in and hoping that and pray to God that shit change and go through. Other than that, there ain't shit that people doing about it. We can vote, do all this shit. Whoever's back there in the government's positions are going to be used the way they need to be utilized. These people are just the faces in the forefront of what's already going to go on and what they already know what's going to go on from 5 to 10 years now down the line.